Imagine waking up in the middle of the night. The wind is screaming like a train passing over your house. The lights are gone. The power is dead. You step outside, and the water is rising, fast. Not a few inches, not a small flood, but an entire city slowly disappearing under the sea. This is exactly what happened in August 2005. A storm named Hurricane Katrina didn't just hit America, it changed it forever. And this is the full story. It all started far away over the warm waters of the Atlantic Ocean. At first, it was just a tropical disturbance, nothing unusual. But the ocean that year was extremely warm. And warm water is fuel for hurricanes. The storm began to grow, spin faster, and pull in more energy. Meteorologists watched closely as it intensified into a tropical storm, then a hurricane. And then something terrifying happened, it exploded in strength. Katrina became a Category 5 hurricane. One of the highest levels on the scale. Wind speeds reached around 175 miles per hour, 280 kilometers per hour. At this point, it was no longer just a storm. It was a giant rotating engine of destruction. In its path was the Gulf Coast of the United States. And one city was especially vulnerable. New Orleans, Louisiana. This city is unique, because much of it lies below sea level. To protect it, engineers built a system of levees, massive walls designed to hold back water from Lake Pontchartrain and the sea. For years, these levees were the city's shield. But there was a hidden problem. Some of them were not strong enough for a storm like Katrina. And nobody truly expected a disaster of this scale. On August 29, 2005, Hurricane Katrina made landfall near the Gulf Coast. By then, it had weakened slightly to a Category 3 storm. But don't be fooled by the category. It was still massive. Storm surges, walls of ocean water, began pushing inland. Winds ripped apart rooftops, trees, and power lines. But the real disaster was still coming. As water levels rose, pressure built against the levee system in New Orleans. And then, it failed. Multiple levees broke. And once that happened, the city had no defense left. What followed was unimaginable. Water rushed into neighborhoods like a tidal wave. Within hours, around 80% of New Orleans was underwater. Entire streets became canals. Cars floated like toys. Homes were submerged up to rooftops. People climbed onto buildings, waving for help. Some wrote signs on rooftops. Help US, but rescue teams couldn't reach everyone quickly. The city was cut off. No electricity. No clean water. No communication in many areas. Hospitals ran on emergency generators. Families were separated in the chaos. And thousands of people were trapped for days. As days passed, conditions became worse. Heat rose. Water became contaminated. Supplies ran out. Some people waited on rooftops for rescue helicopters. Others walked through chest-deep water searching for safety. The world watched on television as one of America's biggest cities struggled to survive. But what shocked many people was the slow response. Rescue operations faced delays, coordination problems, and communication breakdowns. This created anger, confusion, and debate that lasted for years. Meanwhile, ordinary people were doing everything they could just to survive. When the waters finally began to recede, the damage was revealed. Over 1,800 people lost their lives, hundreds of thousands were displaced, entire neighborhoods were destroyed, total damage exceeded $125 billion, but beyond numbers.